Hello everybody and welcome back. In this video, we're going to be taking a step back from developing our chats page, and we're going to be looking towards developing some utility classes which will aid us in our development experience. Specifically in this video, I'm going to be focusing towards creating a class known as a chat message class, which is going to be used to model each chat message inside of our application. So this chat message class is going to basically represent information or contain information regarding a single message that's sent in our application. So with that said, let's get into the video and let's see how we're going to be doing it. So the first thing that I'm going to do is that instead of showing you the code, I'm going to be actually going back to Firebase, and I'm going to be going to the completed version of our Firebase project. And there I'm going to go to our Firestore database, and here I'm going to show you how our chats collection is structured and how a message is represented. So let's get into it. So inside of our Firestore database, we're going to have a collection of chats, which is going to have a list of documents inside of it. Each document is going to represent a unique chat inside of our application. We're going to come back to the properties that are associated with each chat later on, but for now what I want you to know is that each chat is going to have a collection inside of it known as a collection of messages, and inside of which each document will be a individual message. And this is the actual document which we are trying to represent by encapsulating it and its data within a class known as a chat message class. So each of this message corresponds to one instance of a chat message class. So what things will our chat message class require? Well, we are going to require a sender ID, a content, a sent type, and the type. So the content is going to be whatever content was sent. The sender ID is going to be the ID of whoever sent the message. The sent time is going to be the time at which the message was sent. And finally, we'll have a type. So the type is going to tell us what type of message it was. So whether it was text, image, and this could be easily extended to have support for media messages such as videos or location messages and things like that. So now that we have a thorough understanding of how our actual message is going to be structured, how our chats are going to be structured, I'm going to click on Firebase, and then I'm going to go back to the application that we're currently developing and go to our Firestore database. And from here, I'm going to move back to my actual Flutter project. And here I'm going to go to my models folder, and I'm going to create a new file inside of here, which I'll call our chat_message .. file. Now inside of here, we are going to be importing a very important package, which is going to be our Cloud Firestore package, because we do require a utility function from it. With this, I'm going to create an enumeration, and this enumeration is going to be called the message type. So the type of our message, and I'm going to set that equal to be either text or image or unknown. And with this, I'm going to move onwards. Now I'm going to create the actual class, which is going to be called a chat message, and it's going to have some properties associated with it. The first property that our class is going to have is going to be final string and the sender ID. So who sent the message? With this, we'll also have a final string or a final message type, and that is going to be the type of our message. Then we'll also have a final string, and this will be the content. And then we'll have a final date time, and that is going to be the sent time. So when was our message sent? With this, I'm going to create this constructor for my class. I'm going to make sure that all of these arguments are named arguments, and I'm going to add required keyword to all of them. I'm going to say that firstly this dot content, then we'll also have required this dot type, then I'll have required this dot, and then I'll have sender ID, and then finally I'll have required and this dot and then send time. With this, I am going to also create a factory method which will allow us to take a JSON document and then return a chat message instance from it. So I'm going to say that this factory method is going to be chat message.from and then JSON, and then inside of here I'm going to say that we'll get a map which is going to be of type string comma dynamic, which means the keys for our map are going to be string, while the values could be dynamic, and I'll call this _JSON, and then I'll open our factory method up. The first thing that I'm going to say is that I'm going to create a message type variable, and I'll set that equal to message type. With this, I'm going to then create a switch statement, and inside of this switch statement, I am going to say _JSON, the JSON that we get, and then we extract the type from it. And then what I'm going to do is that I'm going to add my first case. So I'm going to say if the type is text, Then what I want you to do is that I want you to set the message type to be equal to message type dot text, like this, and then add a semicolon, and then also don't forget to add a break statement at the end as well. Now I'm going to say that if the case is, and what the case is, image, then what I'm going to do is that I'm going to say that the message type is going to be message type dot image, and then same as before, don't forget to add the break. And then finally I'm going to say that in the case of a default, so if the above cases don't apply, default, then what I'm going to do is that I'm going to set the message type, and I'll just copy and paste this code in, message type equal to unknown. Now that we have the switch case defined, I'm going to add a return statement where I'm going to return an instance of our chat message. For the content, I'm just going to take the content from our JSON file and just pass it to it. For the type, I'm going to give it the message type variable that we had just created here. Then for the sender ID, I'm going to just take the JSON document and I'm going to add the sender ID to it. And then finally for the sent time, I'm going to take the JSON document, I'm going to take the sent_time key, and then I'm going to do the toDate function on it, since we know we can do that. And then I'm going to add a semicolon at the end. And this is going to reformat the code for us, add a comma here just to reformat the code, and do command save. With this, the final thing that I'm going to be doing is that I'm going to be adding a utility function to my class, which is going to return a string map, which is going to return a map to us, which type string comma dynamic, and I'm going to call this to JSON. So as the name suggests, this is going to represent or return to us a JSON representation of our chat message. So I'm going to add the same logic that I done before for determining the message type, but this time in reverse. So we're going to switch on the type of the message, and then we'll say if the message type is text, then set it to text, string, image, or none. And then what I'm going to do finally is that I am going to, inside of our function, say that we're going to return a map, and this map is going to have a key known as the content, which will be equal to the content. Then we'll have another key type, which will be equal to the message type variable. Then we'll have another one called the sender_ID, and this will be equal to the sender's ID. And then finally, we'll also have the last one, which is going to be the sent_time, and this is going to be the timestamp dot from date, and then we're going to take the sent time. And this timestamp dot from date function is given to us by the Cloud Firestore package, and that's why we imported it. And I'm going to do command save. So with this, our chat message class is now defined, and we have a class that we can use to actually represent in a structured way each chat message. So with this done, I'm going to end this video here, and I'll see you guys in the next video. We will continue adding some other utility classes to our Flutter project. So thank you for watching, and I'll catch you guys in the next video.